How you doing, Kingdom Class? How are you? This is Reverend Mike. Happy Monday morning. I'm sure many of you are just conquering the day. And for those who are going through the battle, may the Lord cause you to be victorious today. Yesterday, we had a very powerful in-your-face message. I call it a locker room conversation message from Reverend Darrell Washington. And one of the main themes he was talking about was a call to repentance, really looking at ourselves before God and coming to Him saying, Lord, here I am, and being frank and open with Him. Along with that, as you recall, Pastor Aubrey had mentioned that the first week of October, he's asking us to get into a really intense time of prayer and consecration. Well, what a time to be able to draw closer to God, to be able to go into this season where once we draw closer to Him, He can transform us. We can be the sons and daughters that He has designed us to be. So I'm looking forward to that to happen. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about two particular laws that will cooperate in that process of us being transformed, that is, by our repentance before God, and while we're in His presence, daily in His presence, pressing to be in His presence, how that changes us. We're going to be talking about two particular laws surrounding that. But here's something I want to give to you, since we will be getting into an intense time of prayer for the first week of October. Andy Stanley had a very powerful sermon series called Permission to Speak Freely. This is a prayer series that's designed to kind of walk us through what prayer is. For some, when you think about prayer, they think of it more of a very solemn, very formal, and you got to say the right words the right way. But if you look at prayer, it's really us communicating to God. It's just as I'm speaking to you, is you speaking to the Lord and the Lord speaking back to us. So I mentioned from time to time you're going to be hearing again more about prayer for these three things, and make sure you get this down. I'm going to make mention of it tomorrow night, that we select a time to pray, a place to pray, and an agenda to pray. So a time to pray. You can pray once a week. I recommend you do it 3 times a week. To do it every day on a consistent basis. If you can do that for a half hour, 40 minutes, that's great. But what I usually do is I do it 3 times a week, where I space out an hour to an hour and a half time to just meet God and Him meet with me. That's number one. Number 2 is a place to pray. You want to select a place and be very deliberate in that place, that location. And then have an agenda. Write some things down that you want to take to the Lord. And as He speaks to you, you write the things down that you hear Him speaking back to your spirit. Over time, you begin to see what the words of God is saying to you specifically. So you're going to be hearing more about that even when David Ireland will be coming for our special anniversary service that will be happening on October 15th at 6 p.m. He's going to be our guest speaker that evening. That's why I got those 3: time to pray, place to pray, and objective to pray. He's a gentleman who, just as Apostle Fenton received the word of the teachings from the Lord for the Kingdom Class, well, David Ireland, that's what God gave for David Ireland. He got it was prayer. And so the School of Prayer and all that material came from David Ireland. He developed that material. So it's going to be great. So I'm going to be sending you a little bit later on a video, and it's going to be entitled Permission to Speak Freely by Andy Stanley. It's fantastic. It will be life-changing. I ask you to go through that, really listen to it, and let it change your life. In the meantime, be blessed. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Again, 2 things. Oh, guess what? Even the lights went off. Let me see. Hold up 1 second. There we go. Let there be light. That's the light sensor. So anyway, be blessed. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.